Good afternoon and welcome to Eye On Sheridan. I'm Justin Goulet.
And I'm Chanel Willette. In news today, a man is in hospital after a shooting near River and Gerrard in Toronto. We'll tell you why some students want a ban on bottled water and no more pass and go for a classic Monopoly piece.
But first, earlier today we had some special guests here in the newsroom. CP24 Breakfast broadcast live from our studios, and Eye On Sheridan's Emily Johnson caught all the action. Emily?
Thanks, Justin. It was certainly a monumental day for students as Toronto's breaking news crew was here at Sheridan to give their viewers a glimpse of what we do. It was busy before dawn at Sheridan's Trafalgar campus as the CP24 mobile crew set up to film students in action.
Hey, you're at Sheridan College this morning, Nalini.
I am, Melissa, and they are grooming the next generation of, I guess, us.
Their first stop was in the newsroom.
Are you part of the program as well? You're shooting. Yeah, okay. I'm ruining your video here. What's going on?
So I'm just shooting you guys. I'm a camera person for our weekly news show.
Working in our industry, seeing what's kind of behind us and the next generation, I think that's interesting as well.
The crew schmoozed with students while they were hard at work for their own Eye On Sheridan broadcast.
What are you doing?
I'm Richard. Can we do this later? I'm in the middle of a rehearsal.
He's in the middle of rehearsal. Matthew, we're live on TV.
Oh, never mind then. Okay.
Students were featured not just through spur-of-the-moment interviews, but were able to take part in the Shopportunities segment as well.
That's one opportunity that can't be beat. Now, that's all the time we've got. Back to Nalini.
Oh my God, they've taken over my job.
But they didn't just come to see us hard at work. They also stopped by McDonald Hislop Hall to showcase the talent of musical theater students.
I mean, I think it's great that the show is getting this much publicity. Maybe just someone in the morning having their coffee flicks the TV on and they see that and they go, wow, that looks so cool. I want to go out to Oakville. I want to go see that.
Where are they now? It was pretty early to be here, but it was good. We're pretty ready for an audience, so it's always good to have people watching.
The show opens next Tuesday. Hopefully Chicago will be as much of a success as Sheridan's appearance on CP24 Breakfast this morning. Well, I hope that isn't the last time we have the pleasure of working with a professional news team. Now, back to Chanel and Justin at the desk.
Thanks, Emily. We have breaking news. According to the EMS, an 18-year-old male has been stabbed in the forehead near Kipling Avenue and Dixon Road in Toronto. The severity of his injuries is currently unknown. We'll keep you updated if any more information becomes available to us. A man is in hospital after being shot in his Toronto apartment near Gerrard and River Streets this morning. The 45-year-old victim was shot in the back just before 7 a.m. Reports say he was conscious and breathing on the way to emerge. Police are looking for a suspect. The shooting happened in the same neighborhood where 15-year-old Tyson Bailey was murdered just last month.
The trial of Richard Kuchar continues today. The man accused of killing Toronto Police Sergeant Ryan Russell with a snowplow. A witness testified that the snowplow commandeered by Kuchar showed no signs of slowing down as it sped toward Russell on Avenue Road in January 2011. The judge says the purpose of the trial is not to determine who killed Sergeant Russell, but to determine the state of mind of the accused at the time of the incident.
The Toronto Star is reporting there are more than 340 cab drivers with criminal records working city roads. Convictions range from drunk driving to sexual assault. Only 53 have lost their licenses. The city checks a cab driver's criminal and driving records once every 4 years. A senior official says this licensing protocol is currently under review.
A woman is injured after being struck by a transport truck. Police were called to the scene at Dundas Street West and Sheridan Avenue in Toronto around 10:45 a.m. The victim was rushed to hospital with serious leg injuries. Her condition at the time is not known, but according to Constable Wendy Drummond, witnesses described her as an older woman. Dundas Street West has been shut down between Brock Avenue and Dufferin.
A 17-year-old girl in Kamloops, BC is saying she was contacted over Facebook by a local escort agency as part of a recruiting effort. The girl, who wishes to remain anonymous, states she and several friends were approached via Facebook by an agency called Angels After Dark. The company is not commenting on the allegations and has taken down its Facebook ads. Apple is instituting an age restriction on its popular Vine app, restricting sales to those 17 years of age and older. The app allows users to create short videos that can be uploaded to social media sites such as Twitter and Facebook, but it began to attract controversy when users started to use this service to create and upload pornographic material. Some of it was featured in prominent positions within the app.
The Senate is set to release a report today on why Canadians continue to pay more for goods and services than Americans. The committee heard from over 50 witnesses, including Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney. The price gap between the two countries was most recently estimated at 11%, despite the currency being nearly at par.
And speaking of paying more, gas prices are on the way up. At 12:01 a.m. on February 7th, prices will rise approximately 5 cents. Over the last 2 months, oil prices have gone up 10%. Analysts say they are rising partly because the U.S. economy is improving and the fact that refineries are shutting down. Gas in the GTA will be at an average price of 129.7 cents per liter. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration is warning pilots to rely less on the use of autopilot to avoid becoming rusty. A study by the agency revealed an increase in manual handling errors. They say the overuse of autoflight systems can lead to degradation of the pilot's ability to quickly recover the aircraft from an undesired state. Transport Canada has echoed the warning.
2 of the Great Lakes have hit their lowest water levels ever recorded. This dry spell has Huron and Michigan sitting at 95-year lows. Fish spawning in area is suffering from the low levels, and cargo ships have been forced to carry lighter loads. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says a decade of below-average rain and snowfall is to blame. The other Great Lakes are also experiencing below-average levels. A multi-million-dollar house under construction in Burlington has burned to the ground. Fire crews were on the scene at 6:30 p.m. yesterday evening at the home on Lakeshore Road. 50 firefighters took over 2 hours to put out the blaze. The cause of the fire is unknown, but fire officials say no one was injured.
Downtown Oakville is Ontario's newest heritage district. On Monday, the city's Planning and Development Council voted unanimously in favor of creating the historic area. A new set of regulations will be in place for heritage and non-heritage buildings and is intended to preserve the unique character of the town. The area will be bounded roughly between Robinson Street, Dunn Street, Navy Street, and Randall Street.
The Idle No More movement is the focus of a presentation here at Sheridan tonight. Faculty and students are invited to view the People of Katawapiskat River Idle No More documentary, followed by a panel discussion. The event is to run in partnership with Mohawk College. The presentation is happening between 4 and 6 p.m. and there will be refreshments.
You might have to rely on school water fountains to get yourself hydrated. The Sheridan Social Justice Club is looking to ban the sale of bottled water. Stephen Pike has the full scoop.
Like these have been popping up all over campus, promoting the Social Justice Club's attempt at banning water bottles here at Sheridan.
It is a social justice issue because purchasing the disposable water bottles being sold to us is a form of the privatization of water. So who gave these people the right to sell us our basic human need?
Getting bottled water from a machine like this may be convenient, but is it worth paying a price? A study released by the Canadian government says that bottled water can cost up to 10,000 times more than tap water. So next time you decide to go for a bottle of water, think of getting one of these and saving yourself some money.
We've got a petition here going to get water bottles from being banned from being sold in the school. So it's partly to raise awareness. So people can they can both sign the petition and they can sign the personal pledge, which is pledging to not to drink bottled water. So it's saying that they'd drink their water in reusable bottled waters instead of disposable.
Currently, I've been using disposable bottles, but I plan on stopping as soon as I run out of the ones that are at my house now, and then I'm going to start using reusable water bottles.
I do not buy bottled water at the school, actually. I get the water from here, just fountain water in a cup, and drink it.
Soon, Sheridan Social Justice Club is hoping that bottles of water like this one here will no longer be available for purchase on campus. For Eye On Sheridan, I'm Stephen Pike, Oakville.
The classic board game Monopoly is getting a facelift. Hasbro is announcing a new game piece lineup today, but that means one of your favorite tokens is getting the boot. The new edition has been determined by online votes from over 120 countries. Monopoly fans say this is the most significant change made to the game in almost 80 years. So do you want to know who won?
Yeah, sure. I think I'm emotionally prepared.
They're actually replacing the iron with a cat.
That's a shame. I personally liked the old-timey iron.
You know what? I'm just glad they did not get rid of the top hat because I love the top hat. After the break, we'll take a look at some international news.
An earthquake in the South Pacific, Tunisia protests, and more controversy for Lance Armstrong. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Tsunami warnings are canceled across a vast region of the South Pacific following an 8.0 magnitude earthquake near the Santa Cruz Islands. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center measured a 1-meter high wave at Lada Wharf near the Solomon Islands. There are reports of damage to local villages, but no word of any deaths.
Thousands of protesters are flooding streets across Tunisia. They're reacting to the assassination of opposition leader Chokri Belaid. Tunisian Prime Minister Jabali says the murder is an attack on the Arab Spring Revolution. The identity of the gunman is unknown. Demonstrators are calling for the government to fall. North Korea has released a promotional video depicting a city resembling New York under attack. The video, posted February 2nd on the country's official YouTube channel, begins with a Korean man's dream sequence. The clip ends with the computer-generated American city in flames and multiple shots of the United States flag. The clip is intended to promote the Asian country's burgeoning space program. U.S. officials say the film is a disturbing reminder of the threat posed by North Korea.
6 tourists were raped in the famous Mexican tourist resort of Acapulco by an armed gang who broke into their rented beach bungalows as they slept. It happened Monday morning. 5 masked men attacked the Spanish women after tying up their partners with telephone cords and the elastic from their bikinis. The rapists spared a Mexican woman who was staying with the group.
A 17-year-old South African girl is dead because of injuries she suffered in a gang rape over the weekend. This incident is sparking cries of outrage, but nothing compared to what was seen in India after deadly gang rape there. Women's groups in South Africa say rape is so common it doesn't shock anyone anymore. The trial of the 5 men accused in that fatal gang rape in India are hearing its first witnesses. Today, the New Delhi court heard from the young male friend of the victim who was with her the night she was attacked. The woman's friend addressed the court from a wheelchair. The man has previously stated he tried to stop the assault but was attacked with iron bars and later dumped on the side of the road.
An Alabama boy is getting the best birthday party of his life. Held captive for a week in an underground bunker, 5-year-old Ethan is returning home to cheers and tears. He was rescued in a daring FBI raid, leaving his kidnapper dead. Jimmy Lee Dykes shot and killed a school bus driver before taking the boy hostage. The special agent in charge says Ethan is now with his mother, laughing and playing despite the horrifying ordeal. The Boy Scouts of America delayed its vote on whether to lift the ban on gay members until May. After a board meeting in Texas, it was decided that more deliberation was needed. Back in 2000, Boy Scouts of America won a U.S. Supreme Court decision allowing the organization to continue the ban. But then big-name donors like film director Steven Spielberg withdrew support. Youth membership has also declined 21%. U.S. President Barack Obama supports lifting the long-standing ban against gay membership.
Britain is another step closer to legalizing same-sex marriage. The second reading of a House of Commons bill won an overwhelming victory today with a vote of 400 to 175. The bill will now receive further examination before heading back to the House for a final vote. But this process could take several months. Once passed, couples who previously entered a civil partnership would be able to convert their relationships into a lawful marriage.
A criminal inquiry against Lance Armstrong may have legs. The disgraced cyclist could face criminal charges following statements he made during last month's interview with Oprah Winfrey. ABC News is citing an anonymous source who says federal agents are actively investigating Armstrong for obstruction, intimidation, and witnessing tampering.
When we come back, big news for Raptors fans.
And we've got plenty of entertainment news, including a new addition to the cast of Anchorman 2. Keep watching.
Welcome back. Raptors fans rejoice because Andrea Bargnani is back.
Colin Van Owen has that and all the sports news you need to know. Colin?
Thanks, guys. The Leafs snapped out of a 2-game losing streak last night with a gritty effort in Washington against the Caps. We'll go off to Washington now for those highlights. First period where James Van Riemsdyk capitalizes on a sloppy play. Luke Gentry's not looking bad. Same period now, JVR. He's Johnny on the spot for his second of the game. He is just playing out of his mind right now. Late third period now, someone better call the cops because Ben Scrivens absolutely robs Tom Poti with the blocker. Leafs hold on for the 3-2 win. On to Ottawa now, where the Senators and Sabres are playing. Daniel Alfredson snipes this wrister past Ryan Miller, and that's why they call him captain. Second period now, where Chris Neal shows us he's more than just a pretty face. His goal puts the Sens up by 3. They'd let Buffalo back into it, though, as Ottawa clings on to a 1-goal lead late in the third, but Craig Anderson locks it down like an angry warden. Sens hold on for the 4-3 win. Hockey fans nationwide held their collective breaths last night when Sidney Crosby was struck in the face by a puck and was dripping blood. The incident happened in the second period after the puck deflected off of Brian Straight's stick and hit Crosby right in the schnoz. He was taken to the locker room, but he only suffered a swollen nose. The Pens went on to beat the Isles 4-3. On to the hardwood now, where Andrea Bargnani makes his much-anticipated return tonight as the Rondo-less Boston Celtics come to town. The Raptors are just 4-17 with him in the lineup and 13-14 when he's sidelined. It still remains to be seen just how well he will mesh with this new-look Raptors squad, as Rudy Gay and DeMar DeRozan have instantly become the team's new offensive catalysts. Tip-off is set for 7. The Sheridan Bruins played one of their biggest games of the year last night against bitter crosstown rivals, the Humber Hawks. Our sports reporter Brent Brown has all the details.
This was the turning point in the second leg of a season series between Sheridan and their crosstown rivals, the Humber Hawks. The Hawks dominated Sheridan out of the gate, but this game was a tale of two halves as the Bruins took over in the second half of action. McQueen did his best to keep the Bruins in the game when they made their late game push to force overtime. In the extra frame, emerging star Trevor Williams scored 12 of his 16 points to help push Sheridan over the rival Hawks with the final 71-68. We caught up with McQueen and Williams at the end of the game.
It's just a game. You know, we came here, I'm in the moment. We're all in the moment now. We're just here trying to get the wins, trying to build. That's it. So that's what I can say about the game.
Today was a big game. We practiced a lot, practiced hard for it. We worked as a team. It was a good game. Like, they came hard. We beat them by 20 last time, and they didn't want to lose, and the crowd came out, and it was just a great game, a team game. I think we have a great chance of winning OCs this year. Right now, we're first.
We were all one. We just keep coming together as one unit, one sound, one band. That's what we are right now. And we're gonna win.
It was a tough game here tonight as the Sheridan Bruins have now swept the Humber Hawks in their season series, and they are one step closer to the OCAA championship. Reporting for the Eye On Sheridan, I'm Brent Brown, Brampton.
It's time now for our highlight of the night, and it's going to come from the NBA, where we will head off to Brooklyn, where Kobe was designing a brand new poster.
Bryant goes to work. Bryant the drive. Oh! Kobe Bryant on a rack attack.
That's all the sports I've got for today. Now let's go over to Mary Catherine for all your entertainment news, including what people in Toronto are celebrating today. MK?
Thanks, Colin. Today marks the 22nd annual Bob Marley Day in Toronto. The Global Icon ceremony started at 10 a.m. at City Hall in honor of the late reggae star's birthday. 8 humanitarian awards will also be presented in Marley's honor during the celebration. Chris Brown is headed to court today for issues with probation. The R&B singer is meeting with an LA Superior Court judge this afternoon after prosecutors accused Brown of faking his community service hours. Brown was sentenced to community labor after he assaulted then-girlfriend Rihanna back in 2009. Disney has confirmed a series of Star Wars spin-off films are in development. These films are set to be released within a 6-year period beginning in 2015. Disney CEO and company chairman Bob Iger announced Tuesday that there will be a few standalone films in addition to the next Star Wars trilogy directed by J.J. Abrams. Empire Strikes Back writer Lawrence Kasdan and Simon Kinberg, writer of X-Men First Class, will be contributing to both spin-off films in the new trilogy. Kristen Wiig, renowned for her unusual characters on Saturday Night Live, is officially on board for the sequel to Anchorman. Kristen Wiig, who starred in Bridesmaids, Friends with Kids, is expected to be a great addition to the cast. As for the original A-list news team, Will Ferrell, Christina Applegate, Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, and David Koechner will all be returning for the sequel. Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, will set theaters this winter. Now let's head over to entertainment reporter Nathan Peters as he takes a look at spoken word poetry and Black History Month.
Talking about music.
For some reason, we can't appreciate what we have until we see the pain, suffering, and misfortune of others.
Black History Month is always filled with African American heritage events. At Sheridan College at the Marquee, they brought in Sean Booth to show off his smooth spoken word performance.
Dedicated to the dream of Martin Luther King Jr. My name's Sean Booth, chapter 4. Born January 1929, Atlanta, Georgia. They were poor, but he was a good child. From a good home, read the good book, took the good road.
Black history to me is an opportunity to tell a different story, to tell stories about our achievements, you know, and that's what I did at this show. Was revolved around black cultural icons like Bob Marley, Muhammad Ali, MLK, Obama. It's an opportunity to just tell that story and kind of counterbalance all the negative stories that are told about my culture, about my people.
And they murdered us, opposed us, beat us, but they couldn't beat us. Demanding our rights to vote, and Martin would lead us. Perhaps his finest hour is securing our freedoms.
If you weren't able to see Sean's performance last night, search Sean Booth on YouTube or visit biographyseries.com. For Eye On Sheridan, I'm Nathan Peters.
In celebration of Sheridan Theater's 40th anniversary, a gala event featuring Theater Sheridan's production of Chicago will take place on February 22nd.
Musketeers who never say die.
The gala will feature a Chicago-style speakeasy of the Roaring Twenties. The night will also feature performances from students in other years of study. And that's all for entertainment. Let's head back to Chanel and Justin at the desk.
Thanks, MK. Stay with us for all your weather updates with Gurnik Singh.
And tomorrow would be a great day to bring out your warmest sweater. We'll tell you why after the break.
Welcome back. I hear we're in for some more cold weather.
The crazy weather is definitely keeping up. Here's Gurnik Singh with your forecast.
Thanks, Chanel. This week we'll be experiencing cold, high winds, sun, and snow. The weather is switching, so students, make sure you come prepared and have the necessary equipment to stay warm and dry. But I'm not done yet. We have to give a shout for those who live in other parts of Canada. They're suffering too. Let's take a quick look at those temperatures. Okay, now in Van City, we're looking high of 7, and now heading towards the Stampede City. Calgary is sitting at a high of -7. Moving over to Queen City, Regina is at a high of -8. Now heading over to the Gateway to the west, Winnipeg is at a whopping -15. If I lived in Winnipeg, I would honestly sleep and live the rest of my life next to a fireplace. Overall to capital city Ottawa, they're placing it at -12, pushing towards La Belleville, Montreal. Yes, I'm French, just kidding. They're sitting at -12. Heading over to Halifax is now at -11. Now they need portable heaters. And lastly, the city of legend, St. John's, is sitting at -6. Now they're the only ones who have it good. Man, they're so lucky. Now let's head on to more detail and take a look at the 5-day forecast and what we will be experiencing. Now tomorrow, we will be seeing a huge snowstorm tomorrow. We will see up to 10 centimeters of snow on the ground. So for those who are commuting, leave early. As far as temperatures go, not too bad. We'll be looking at a high of -2 and a low of -8. But with the wind, it'll feel more like -10. So we will survive. Now pushing towards the weekend, the weather does a switcheroo on Friday. The flurries remain, but not as much as snow as Thursday, but it will get colder. I think I might actually have to carry a portable heater with me, but if stores don't have them, I'll build one myself. But we'll be noticing a high of -3 and a low of -10, but with the high wind blowing in, we'll feel more like -12. Now Saturday, the snow will disappear, but hey, on the bright side, it will get even colder. I'm seriously actually going to find parts around the school for this heater. Now, it will be a high of 6 and a low of -12, but with the wind, -14. Now, heading towards Sunday, the clouds will crawl in with the high of 2. Now, that's all for the 5-day forecast. It's going to be a cold one, but that's all for the weather. Back to you guys.
Well, we're in for a chilly weekend.
Yes, now unfortunately we won't be seeing spring-like weather for a while.
Well, luckily, National Sweater Day is coming at the perfect time. Tomorrow you'll have one more reason to bundle up. The World Wildlife Campaign has labeled the day to conserve energy and show support against climate change. Oakville Hydro is encouraging residents to turn down their heat by 2 degrees. It's the perfect opportunity to break out your favorite Cosby sweater and try to enjoy the weather. Well, that's all that we have for today. For Eye On Sheridan, I'm Chanel Willette.
And I'm Justin Goulet. Have a fantastic day.